Okay, so we're here once again in Mining Simulator 2, and for today's video I'm going to show you guys basically why rebirthing is so important and how to basically rebirth faster than you usually would. So yeah, this is my method that I use for rebirthing. I can rebirth once every like 10 seconds or so, which is pretty fast. So yeah, let's just get straight into it with what I do. So over here in the space travel, this is where I do my rebirthing in the summer fair event, just because there's multiple reasons for this, and it's just honestly so much quicker, just kind of like coming up here, jumping back down, or even using the teleporter or so. So basically when it comes to this summer fair event, all you need to do for me basically is that I need to just mine down a couple blocks. It doesn't really matter too much. And obviously the further down I get, the easier it becomes. So I need around, I think it's like 125,000 or so on my backpack. And then also what I need to do is actually equip some of the boosts as well, which are the 1.5 times boost, which is, where is it? This one here, the big earner one, as well as the super rich one as well. And then for this, I'm basically getting like, I think it's like 3 times the coins then. So when I do come to sell, as you can see, I get a fairly big amount of coins, and that means then I can rebirth. Really simple. Then all I got to do again is jump down this hole and do it all over again. Now what I'm going to do real quick is just mine down a little further down, just to kind of show you then what I do a little bit further down. So this 7.5 thousand sandstone is still pretty good. It only takes me about 20 of these blocks to actually break and then kind of like go ahead and rebirth. Really simple, to be fairly honest. However, it does get easier the further down you go, because you do start to get more and more sandstone. So I think the next layer after this one is 9,000, and then it's like 12,500, 25,000, 35,000, and then 60,000 or something like that, I'm pretty sure. So obviously, once you start to get down to the further bits, I would say around the 25 and the 35,000 stones further down here, basically they are the better ones, just for the fact that then you more or less only have to break a couple of them. Now of course it does matter what if you have basically VIP and stuff. If you don't have VIP, this same method will work. It'll just take you kind of like a little bit longer. Again, the same for those who are completely free to play. If you don't have the teleporter again, it's just going to make it a slight bit longer. However, it won't really matter too much. So basically what I do is every like 100 or maybe like 50 meters or so, I'll mine one block out, put my teleporter down, and then I'll come up here and sell. Then I'll obviously rebirth once again, and really simple, just teleport back down, and I'm back down to where I need to be. I'll just kind of mine down again, get my 200,000 or so blocks like so, sell, rebirth, and then just keep repeating this over and over again. It's really simple, and it'll just take you literally a couple of seconds to do. Once you start to get into a rhythm, as you saw then, you'll basically be able to know where to click the rebirth button whilst the screen is black. As you can see, I bring mine up instantly, which is really simple. And then once you do start to get into a rhythm, you'll just kind of know like how to make this the quickest thing possible. So as you can see, now we are down in the 12,500 sandstone. So what I'm going to do again is remove my teleporter, replace it back down here, sell, come back up here, rebirth, really simple, boom, 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 and then teleport again. And yeah, basically all you'll need to do is just kind of do this. Now there's another thing that I do as well, a little bit of a trick. So once I do sell and press the rebirth whilst the screen is black, it just makes it a little bit easier. Then press 2, press the teleport, and then once the screen goes black, you've actually instantly teleported, so you can already hold back. And I'll show you again once we do rebirth here in a second, just really quick. So we'll go ahead and sell, press the rebirth, do this. After we've clicked, okay, I guess we don't have enough coins to do this real quick. As you can see though, it does get a little bit difficult. You do have to kind of like keep in mind that you will need to get more and more after a while. So once you've clicked this, and then this one here, after you've clicked this one, instantly press 2 to get your teleporter up if you do have it, and you can teleport back down. And as you can see, even from the black screen then, I just held the S key, and I ended up going right down back to my hole. Now it obviously does depend which way you are facing once you do come out of your hole and stuff and back into your teleporter. However, let's just try that again. As you can see, really simple, already falling down by the time I've got here. Really easy, and a really good method. And this is basically what I use to rebirth. Now as you can see, I don't exactly have many rebirths anyways. I'm not exactly a massive fan when it does come to rebirthing, just for the simple fact that it does take a very long time to rebirth, and it can get boring after a while. I usually rebirth for like 20 minutes and then just kind of like go, I can't really be bothered. Usually it's only like 10 or 5 minutes as well. So if you do have the patience to do rebirthing, it's going to be a really good thing to do. And now we're going to move on to basically why it's important to actually rebirth and the kind of just the whole maths behind it. Okay, so basically right now we're going to go over the maths and things like that and how many gems you can actually get from rebirthing every single day. Obviously I'm going to use myself for the example, however you can just kind of like go ahead and divide how many whatevers you want to do to kind of get a rough estimate for yourself, and I will do some kind of rough estimations as well towards the end of the video. But basically for me, seems though I can rebirth more or less once every 10 seconds. What we need to do to find out how many gems I will get per minute is really simple. Obviously all you need to do is divide 60 seconds by 10 seconds and you get 6. And then obviously we do get 600 gems per rebirth, so that is going to be 600, and you're going to times that by the 6. And then from that, every single minute I can actually get 3,600 gems, which is obviously a lot of gems over a lot of time. So basically 3,600 gems per minute is going to be quite a lot. Obviously that might be the difference between a lot of players. However, then we need to go ahead and find out how much I can get per hour. Now obviously rebirthing is very boring to do, so I wouldn't really say most people will be grinding rebirths for an hour straight. However, just to kind of keep it simple, let's just say that I have grinded for an hour straight. Then you need to basically times that by 60 for every single minute in the game. This is obviously like saying you don't have any breaks or whatever. And basically for me, it's going to be 3,600 times 60 minutes to get the hour. And that's going to be 2,000, no sorry, 2,000 is a massive understatement, we've literally gone down. It's going to be 216,000 gems per hour, which is absolutely massive. Now obviously, again, for a lot of you guys who may not have like stupidly overpowered teams with 16,000 coins and 18,000 coins all here, there and everywhere, however, you may have like this the free to play kind of style. So what I would recommend for you guys is probably dividing any number that I have right now for myself, maybe like by 2 or 3. So basically if I was to go ahead and divide that by 3 to 216,000, it's around 72,000 gems per hour, which again is still going to be quite a lot of gems if you do grind a lot. And then let's say you are going to be grinding for 8 hours. Obviously you're not going to be grinding that whole thing. Let's just say you have like a 2 hours worth of break, so let's times that by 6 right there. And then for you guys, for those who do free to play, it's going to basically be around 432,000 gems per day, which is absolutely massive. So make sure you are rebirthing as much as you can. However, let's go back to my example of 216,000. Let's times that by 6. And then for me, or players like myself, we can be getting 1.3 million gems per day, which is massive, and that's obviously only for 6 hours. So, you know, if for those people who are completely no life in the game, grinding it 10 hours per day maybe, you're going to be getting over 2 million gems per day, which is absolutely massive. And then for those who are free to play, you're probably going to be able to get at least 1 million gems if you do grind for like 12 hours straight, which is basically going to be you waking up, going off grinding and then going back to sleep, waking up, grinding and then back to sleep without any breaks. But obviously that's going to be pretty impossible. However, there is just some things that I would recommend doing. Obviously make sure you do have breaks. If you are rebirthing for 8 hours per day, then you are going to get some serious health issues if you're sitting there all the time. So obviously don't sit around rebirthing all day. However, just kind of like pace yourself. For the most players, you will be able to get at least like 100 to 200,000 gems per day. And then on top of that as well, you've got the factory, which is doing a lot of work for you as well. As you can see, for those who do have 2 times gems, you're going to be getting a ton of stuff right there. Really easy, it's around like 25,000 gems per day if you do have times 2 gems. And then obviously, you can use all of those gems to use the mystery egg as well. So yeah, just kind of like make sure you kind of know what you're doing and use this video as a kind of guide. Again, use that method that I was using. I would say that's probably the fastest one in the game right now. Just the main reason being, the further down you get, the better it and easier it actually gets. Especially once you get down to that 60,000 mining layer. You may actually just want to mine straight down there and make it even faster for yourself. Obviously 60,000 blocks per block, technically I guess you could say, is going to be a massive help. For me right now, for doing that 7,500 blocks sandstone at the top, you more or less need to mine on like 20 of them. However, once you start to get down to that 60,000, it's more or less like what, 3-4 of those blocks, which is kind of insane. If we do jump down, actually, we could just teleport. Oh, never mind, my teleporter's gone. If we do just jump down real quick, as you can see right now, for me, using this sandstone right here, this 12,500, it's more or less around 10 to 20 blocks or so. Oh, no, sorry, yeah, about 20 or so blocks. However, the further down you do get, the easier it gets, the less blocks you need. So yeah, and obviously on top of this as well, you don't need anything like the infinite backpack, and honestly you don't really need much at all. It does obviously depend on how strong your team is and how much coins multiplier you have. For me, right now, if you do open the debug menu and just quickly re-enable one of these boosts because it has run out. This one here, as you can see for me, I'm doing around 554,000 times coins multiplier. So basically you can use that number right there and then base off, like you kind of base your answers off of my coins multiplier by kind of just dividing how much you have. So say you do 250,000, you'll more or less divide that by 2, and that's more or less how much gems you're going to get. Divide like my answer by 2, and then that's how many gems you're going to get basically. I know it's kind of confusing, however, once you get the grasp of it, it's going to be really simple. And the main part of it is just use the method that I have shown you, because you're going to get a ton of gems, and you'll get anywhere between 100,000 to 1 million gems per day. Really, really good, and that's from Rebirthing alone. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.